2, 1, and we're live. Yay! All right. Just going to start inviting some folks. Gotta love the magic of computers. All right. Now we're going to wait for some folks to come on and I'll get cooking. It already smells good in here. I have the casserole in the oven already. Welcome. When you get on, just give us a hi so I know who you are. Glad to have you. My cousin Jessica. Hi. Gonna wait for a few more people. I got the stove going behind me. Got the oven on. It already smells good in here. Of course, we don't have smell-o-vision, so that would be a good thing. Gonna let a few more people get on. I feel like there's a real delay in responses, so I'm going to try to pull it up on my computer, see if I can see it better there. Video. Do. All right, we're pulling up the live. Ooh, you can hear me on that one. Let's pause that. That's going to have an even better delay. Mute. I'm still in the learning stages. All right, so now I can see comments in real time. I can see my video in my time and what you guys are seeing down here. So I'll be looking up and down, back and forth. This should be a blast. Hey, Jackie, welcome. Happy party day. I've got my computer pulled up here too because I have quite a delay on the phone. So hopefully I can see your comments in real time down here. Just gonna wait for a few more to come on. Jackie, were you able to invite some folks? I invited a handful, but sometimes it helps if you start tagging in the comments. I can try to tag a few too. Maybe not when I'm live. All right, we're just going to give it a couple more minutes and then I can start cooking. So if you just write their name in the comment box and you tag them, so if their name pops up, just hit enter so that you get that blue, it's like a blue hyperlink. Hopefully that'll help them find the video if anybody's having trouble. It's funny, I can see myself talking and I don't see myself talking up here. All right, looks like we've got 3 folks on. When you get on, say hi. Glad to have you. Gonna start wait till about 5 after, and then I can kind of start cooking, and we'll keep moving on. It might. Like I'm just hanging out here. You guys don't want to see me dance. You really don't want to see me dance. That's not pretty. Thanks, Jessica. Not happening. All right, looks like we've got some folks joining in. When you get here, just say hi so we know you're here. Hey, Candace. Good to see ya. I just called you Candace. Candy. Welcome aboard. I'm going to get cooking here in a few minutes. And while I cook, I'm actually cooking my dinners for the next few nights. So you guys get to cook along with me, and I'm going to show you all the fun Tupperware goodies that I have while we do it. All right, we've got 4 on. It's 7:06. I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you have questions, just go ahead and write them in the chat. I can kind of see it as it comes up. There's quite a delay though. Hey, Katie, welcome. Say hi when you get here and ask questions as we go, and we'll have a lot of fun. I won't dance, I promise. All right, so 2 things we're making today. I want to say a little bit about meal prep. My goal, you know, we're all busy, we're all crazy, full-time, working, school, homeschool, everything. What I like to do for meals is I have a meal prep day. So 1 day a week, I work every other weekend. So I'll pick 1 day, either a Sunday that I'm not working, or I'm usually off that following Monday. I'll take that Monday as my meal prep day. I do 2 or 3 meals and get them cooked and get them portioned up and into the refrigerator. So all we have to do is heat and eat. Very easy, very nice. That's what my goal is for you guys tonight. We're going to make 2 meals that you can put in your freezer if you choose. You can also cook it straight out if you want. You can leave it in the fridge and cook it in the next couple of days if that's your preference. But you can freeze it, and I like to call them frozen assets, only because I know it's in the freezer. And if I'm having a crazy busy week, I don't have to worry about my meal prep day. I can just pull the goodies out of the freezer and use them there. So we're going to make 2 things. We've got chicken broccoli Alfredo, and we're going to make a casserole version so that you can freeze it, and then when you're ready to eat it, you just bake it the day of, and you're good to go. We're also going to do some frozen meatballs. We're going to freeze them raw, so you can cook them when you're ready. We're going to make an Italian-style meatball, so it usually goes best with like a you know, an Italian pasta sauce, your favorite pasta sauce. These would also be pretty good with an Alfredo sauce, I'll be honest. All right, we're going to start with the chicken first. And I already seasoned up my chicken. This is my Micropro grill. This is my favorite Tupperware goodie right now. It is a little microwavable dish, I guess you could call it. It is metal, but it's a kind of metal that you can put in the microwave. It's perfectly safe. It doesn't spark, doesn't harm the microwave, doesn't harm the food. There are plates in it. It's almost like a receiver. There's a plate like this in the bottom where the food sits, and there's a plate here. You put it in the microwave, and when you hit about 30 seconds, 60 seconds in, these plates are at 425 degrees. Just like your oven, just like a frying pan, just like a grill, and it's gonna cook your food. It's got 2 settings. Now, Tupperware is a little bit like IKEA. They love to give you these little icons, just like the IKEA book. So you're never going to see writing on here. You're just, or maybe some numbers, but you're going to see little icons. So you can see that one icon where it looks like you got the bottom here and the top is floating. That's the casserole setting. So you can actually bake in your microwave in this thing. You can do crumbles, you can do a little pie. I did pizza in this the other night. It came out really, really good. Let me see here. Gotta find the other one, and I can't do it backwards. There we go. This side, if you look at that little icon right there, you see how it's kind of sinking down into the dish. That's the setting that we want. We're gonna match the lid to the little arrow that is right here on the outside of my grill. And what's gonna happen is this is gonna sink down onto my chicken. So you can use 2 to 3 chicken breasts. Oh, it's asking me, Jackie's asking me to say yes to something. Let's see. Add 2 tags to my photo. Yes, Jackie, absolutely. Though I made you an admin, I'm not sure why it's asking me to do that, but I'm more than happy to approve anything at this point. Woohoo! I wish I could get it to approve automatically. All right, so we're gonna sink the lid and we're gonna cook the chicken. 3 chicken breasts, or I had chicken tenderloin, so I put it in here. I seasoned it up. You can season it with whatever your favorite seasonings are. I usually use just a regular seasoning salt. Hey, Kristen, welcome. Seasoning salt on both sides, or you can do salt, pepper, and whatever herbs taste good to you, whatever you typically like on your chicken. So we're going to put that in. I don't know if you noticed, see how the lid kind of sunk down? And we're going to put it in the microwave. Took about 6 minutes last time, so we're going to give it 6 minutes and see how we do. All right, and we set it and forget it. I love it. Next step we're going to work on is our... Hello, welcome. We're so glad to have you. There is a little delay, so I apologize if I seem a little distracted here while I finish getting the tags for Jackie. I made her an admin, so I don't know why it's asking me permission. All right. So while the chicken's cooking, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about chopping vegetables. And I'm going to talk to you about food storage. So remember I said meal prep. Oh, pro tip, if you're going to have a meal prep day, get your dishwasher empty because you're going to make a lot of dishes on meal prep day, and it's so easy. The Micropro grill just wipes clean. You just use a wet towel. We've got microfiber. Microfiber from Tupperware, and let me tell you, this stuff is amazing. I get a lot of microfiber that catches on my hands. They're so dry these days because of the soap and the sanitizer and the constant washing. Believe it or not, the Tupperware ones, they're microfiber. They soak up a ton of water, but I don't have that problem where it's catching on my dry fingers. But washing the Micropro grill, you just wipe it out with a wet towel. I have gotten some cheese in here, and it wipes out clean with a paper towel even. All right, so food storage. These are one of my favorite food storage options because you can heat right in them. They are microwavable. This is the Crystal Wave. The Crystal Wave products. This is my absolute favorite. This is the soup mug. It's got a wonderful little handle. And then you've got dishes and bowls. They actually have one that's separated into pieces too. Like you have different sections in it. When you're ready to microwave it, you just pop the little, I don't know if you can see, it makes a little vent, put it in your microwave and heat it up. Note on heating in the microwave, we're cooking, so we're at 100%. If you find that your reheated stuff is just kind of gummy and gross and you're getting those weird crusty edges on it, it's drying out, it's not heating right, try to turn it down. Microwaves are built to reheat at about 50 to 70% and cook at 100%. So just keep that in mind the next time you're reheating stuff. The other food storage and freezer, this one's freezer safe as well, are your vent and serve. These are terrific because they also have a vent. This is a silicone vent. It's not the hard plastic vent. They come in various sizes. They've got the little feet on the bottom so it lifts it up a little bit and you get a little bit more even heating. I've never had a problem with the Crystal Wave, but if you prefer something like that. None of these pit. They don't stain. They've got stain guard in them so you're not going to get that orange stuff from your spaghetti sauce. I put all kinds of stuff in these, no problems at all. But these are made not to pit and they're a little bit harder. Love these things. I fill these up. This is what I put our dinners in. We stack them up, I nuke them, and that's what we have for our meals for the day. Vent and serve and Crystal Wave. All right, so this is also one of my new toys. This is the Chop and Prep. Little tiny chopper. We're going to chop up some onions in here. Great for garlic, great for little small things. It can go in the dishwasher. You've got your blade, it comes with a little cover. You just drop it in the bottom, there's a little divot that it sits on, and then the top goes on it. This came as part of the Power Chef system. It came with the Big Daddy, and it came with the little baby. There's also a medium-size mama version that is called the Smooth Chopper. I've got that one on order, it's coming. But I'll have all three. It's got an interchangeable top, and this is what makes your blade spin. So we're going to drop a little bit of onion in here. The onion is not for the, not for the chicken broccoli Alfredo. It is for the meatballs that I'm going to make later. But I figured if I'm going to chop stuff, I might as well chop it all together. Just realized I'm washing my hands. All you guys can see is my back. Sorry. All right. So I've got some chunks of onion in here, and they've just been keeping. I'm going to drop them in my little chopper. Actually, these are really big pieces. I think I had them set to go in the bigger chopper. we're just going to cut these in half real quick. Just smaller tidbits. So this is about a half of a medium onion that I've got. And that's number 1 in the sink. And we'll put the onion away a little bit too. So, chopper, you're going to tuck your top on there. No cords. I don't need to find a cord. I don't need to find a place to put it on the counter. Well, it's a good idea to put it on the counter, but I don't have to find a place to plug it in. I can just set it down. It's got a great little bottom on here, non-slip, so it's not going to slip away on me. And you just pull the handle. Look, that's what's going to turn the blade. Your first couple turns are going to be a little harder because those blades are trying to get through those big pieces. About eight or so of these, and I've got nice little fine bits of onion in there for my meatballs. So I'm just going to put those in a bowl. We're going to talk about bowls real quick. Lots of bowls. To me, this is what Tupperware is. Tupperware is always about the bowls. This is the Wonderlier bowl. It's got a great base to it. They nest, which is amazing because it tucks right into the cupboard. I nest them, put the lids underneath, and that's how they sit in the cupboard. They also sit inside my oldest piece of Tupperware. This is my ex-father-in-law's colander. I've had this thing forever. I was really surprised when I flipped it over and it said Tupperware on it. Crystal can't get in. So if she's on the site, if she goes into the media tab, there's photos and video. It should be in there. I'm going to try to share it onto the main site if I can. Pardon me. Sorry, I'm off mute. Bear with me. Let me see if I can get her on here. See, there I go singing again. Sorry. All right, we're there. I'm going to go into the media tab. We're going to go to videos. I'm going to click on it. And I bet there's no share button. Yeah, I don't have a share button only because the group is private, so it's not going to let me share it even back to the original group. Well, that's no fun. The other thing you can try, Candy, is if you put her name in the comments section. It wasn't working earlier, but you should be able to tag her in the comments. If it decides to behave itself, we'll have to see. Gotta love it. Gotta love technology. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out, too. I don't know if it'll let me on here. Crystal. Oh, there she is. All right, so I just tagged her. It's working better on my phone than it is on... All right, maybe. We'll see. Migdalia, welcome. Glad to have you. Bowls. Getting sidetracked so bad. So we got the Wonderlier bowls. Like I said, I love the fact that these nest. I'm going to use my elderly colander. I did order the new one, but I'm never going to retire this. I'm always gonna keep it around. But we are going to put our meatballs together in my lovely lavender. So that's what I was trying to get at. I'm going to put my chopped up onions in there, the ones I just did in the chop and prep. Another thing I love about this, no tears. Do you see me crying? Not a one. I'm actually quite comfortable. And I mean, that was a good bit of onion that I just chopped up there. All right, we're gonna rinse the lid so I don't get too much onion on my next step. And these guys are gonna go over here for later. I heard the chicken ding. Did you guys hear the chicken ding? So we're gonna check that. Now the lid on the Micro Chef Pro, remember both of the sides, the top and the bottom, get hot. You never want to take the lid off and put it down on anywhere because this could melt your countertop, depending on what kind of countertop you have. I have an 80s countertop, it would probably melt. So just gonna grab my thermometer over here. We'll check the chicken. We want it to be at 165. That is the safe chicken temperature, though this will get cooked again. So I just got an instant read thermometer. We're at 170 already. We are good. It is nice. Yes. Woohoo. Well cooked chicken. No raw chicken here. So let me just look and see what that is. Now the sides of this do get hot, so you want to be careful. Right now the handles are actually pretty cool, but it steams. So there's my chicken, all cooked, ready to roll. I'm out of counter space. Next thing that I'm going to do for the chicken broccoli Alfredo is get the noodles cooking. So I've got, this is the base of my pressure cooker. I lost my pasta maker. I have a microwave pasta maker by Tupperware. Do you think I can find it? It's in with the camping stuff somewhere. I'll probably find it this summer at some point. But I've got my water in here. I've got 12 ounces of pasta. When I cook pasta, I like to salt the water and put a little bit of oil in it. That's the way I was taught. Cook your pasta the way you like to, but we're going to put that in the microwave for about 10 minutes. Nope, scratch that. The pasta will need to cook for about a total of 10 minutes. Usually it takes around 12, but we want to cook it just al dente. We want it to still have some chew and some bite because we are going to bake this pasta later. So you don't want to overcook it because then you're going to have mush. So we're going to cook it for about 8 minutes and see where we are. At the 8-minute mark, and remember we're cooking, so I'm on 100% power here. At the 8-minute mark, we're going to throw our broccoli in there. So you don't have to cook the broccoli separate. You're going to cook it in with your pasta. Awesome, Jackie. I just think it adds more flavor. Like if I take the pasta and I don't do that, and you put the sauce on it, it could be good, but I always felt like it was better with that little bit of oil. All right, so this is my big chopper. I've got the big blade down the bottom there. And then we're just going to drop in some broccoli. I'm going to rough chop this, so I'm only going to give it a couple of pulls. Now this top, it comes completely off. But remember the top with the pull string that we had on the chop and prep? It's the same exact one, it's just interchangeable. So we pop that on, and it all kind of locks in together. Again, I don't have to plug it in anywhere, I just give it a couple pulls. This one does not have the non-skid piece on it, but it still has a little lip on the bottom that does the same kind of thing. I'm just going to put it down. We're going to give it a couple pulls. And I don't want it finely chopped, but you can see that that's my chopped broccoli. All done. How easy was that? I'm trying to think if I have to chop anything else. I think the broccoli was it. All right, and that's what the blade looks like. It does come with a guard. All of the blades have their own guard that you want to keep it on because they are sharp. You know, you can accidentally nick yourself with that really easy. So we talked about the Wonderlier bowl. This is the other bowl that's very popular with Tupperware. This is that's a bowl. So that's how you know the difference. That's a bowl has a little handle, you know, a little hook. The Wonderlier bowls don't have that. They're very smooth on the sides. The other thing I love, we don't call these lids, we like to call them airtight seals because they really, really are. These are airtight. But we've got these nice little, I call them Mickey Mouse ears. I call them all kinds of crazy things. Tupperware probably thinks I'm a nut job. Well, you guys know I'm a nut job. But when you put them on, it's just so much easier to get it off. If you ever had a stuck lid and you cannot get it off, like you're pulling and pulling and it won't come loose, usually it's because you put warm food in here, and as it cools, it makes a suction and you can't get the lid off. I have not ever had that problem with Tupperware. Love that's a bowl. I'm going to use this to mix up our pasta and sauce when it's done because you got the handle to hold on to, and when I go to pour it into the baking dish later, I can use this and it gives me something to hang on to. It's a little awkward to try to hang on to the side of the bowl. I'm a klutz and I tend to let things slip. Not so much with the handle on here. Good, good stuff. Oh, yeah, we got to chop up our chicken in a little bit too. Isn't it awesome? I love that bowls. And they come in a great set. They come in all kinds of sizes. This is the 12 cup size, so it's almost like a medium. You've got really big ones, you've got really small ones. They've got a ton of different sizes depending on the size that you look for. That bowl is amazing. All right, so while our pasta is cooking, I'm gonna get to work on our sauce. So this is an Alfredo sauce. So we're starting out with 3 tablespoons of butter. It looks like 4, but I miscounted. I didn't have enough in my stick of butter, so I just lopped a little bit more off. But I do have 3 tablespoons. We're just gonna get that heating up. When that's warm, we're gonna add some garlic. You can absolutely chop your own garlic. Nothing wrong with that. I just tend to be a little lazy and I use this stuff. So half a teaspoon is a clove, and we want about a clove of garlic. So we're gonna put a half a teaspoon in here. Let the garlic cook for about a minute, and then we're going to add some flour. That's our thickening agent for the cheese sauce. The cheeses that we're going to use Parmesan and mozzarella, and then we're going to add a little bit of salt. We're going to get it nice and thick and gooey and yummy and mix it in with the pasta and the chicken and the broccoli. Yummy stuff. All right, so while we are cooking and melting, let me talk to you more about fridge and produce. I don't have one big enough for my broccoli, so it's not in here. I have zucchini in this one. This is the Fridge Smart. This thing just blows my mind. It really does. You got a little valve on the top. Produce breathes, and it breathes at different rates depending on the produce. Strawberries, your blueberries, raspberries need very little. They don't breathe as much. You've got heavy breathers like broccoli and cabbages, and I think I should probably just read it, right? Lettuce and things. To know how to store it, this lets you let it breathe, not breathe, or just let it store normally. So if you look, every one of your Fridge Smart has your to-do list on there. You have an X, that means you don't need to store those things in there. It's no good for bananas. You have it wide open, that's for things like your broccoli. And then you have, sorry, I'm trying to get this so you guys can see it, where it's completely open, and then half and half. I am a strawberry snob. I love my strawberries. I get strawberries from Florida when they're around, and usually my strawberries last 2 or 3 days. I try to get the Plant City berries. I grew up around that area, and every now and then Walmart and Market Basket will sometimes get the Plant City strawberries, and I just, yay, I love it, it's wonderful. So I'll get in and I'll buy them, and 3 days later they're gone, and they don't last that long, unfortunately. Sorry, my butter is talking to me, so I'm going to get our garlic cooking. But with the Fridge Smart, my berries lasted 2 weeks. Can you believe it? I do want to show you how the lid works once I'm done cooking a little bit here. But the lid is a little valve, and it'll open and close. So depending, I don't know if you can see it at the top, on the bottom here, this shows you where it needs to be. So for my zucchini, we've got to be all the way over. I don't know if you can see that. So that's where it's going to be, and this is going to last 2-3 weeks or more from what, the first time I kept zucchini in it, but it kept my strawberries for 2 weeks. It was awesome. Oh, you're going to love it, Jackie. So cool. All right, so we cooked the broccoli. I didn't cook the broccoli yet. So we've got our butter cooking. We've got the garlic in there. It is smelling like garlic. It's cooked for about a minute. We're going to add our flour in, and we're making what's called a roux. So it's just a butter-flour mixture. If you're cooking, sometimes you'll need a dark roux for things like gumbo. This is just a light roux because we're just making a light cheese sauce. We're just going to cook that for about 30-40 seconds until it just starts to turn slightly brown. And what you're trying to do, you don't want the flour flavor in there. And if you cook it, the flour flavor is not going to be prominent. All right, we are looking good. So next we are going to add our cream and our milk. So I got about a cup of heavy cream and then 2 cups of whole milk. Now you can certainly use, this is not a light meal, not in any way, shape, or form. You'll have to just watch your portion size, because if you eat a big portion of this, it's gonna have a lot of calories thanks to all that cream. All right, so we're gonna get that cooking. And you wanna watch this. You wanna keep moving it around, because it'll start to thicken up pretty good. Oh, Candace, the Fridge Smart rocks. I had not even heard of it. Frankly, hadn't heard of Tupperware much for years and years, and then a friend of mine invited me to a Tupperware party, and I said, sure, I'll go. You know, it was a virtual party like this one, and the lady who was running it showed the Fridge Smart, and I'm like, oh, I want that. And then she showed the little grinder thing, the chop and prep. I'm like, oh, I want that. And next thing you know, here I am. I'm a consultant and I'm selling the stuff. So it just seemed like such an easy fit. And it's fun. It's fun. You guys, so many of you work in healthcare. You know what a drag healthcare is right now. So talking Tupperware, talking food, talking cooking, talking families. This is, you know, it's kind of my happy place right now. Who would have thunk it? I know I didn't. All right, so we're gonna keep that cooking. Gonna check on our pasta here. So it's getting good and hot. Where's my, aha! We're gonna talk utensils too at some point. All right, so I think the pasta, it had just started boiling. I ended up with cold water. So we're gonna give that another 4 or 5 minutes, just the pasta, and then we're gonna add in our broccoli. Utensils. Oh my goodness. How many of you have dollar store utensils? It's like my drawer here is full of them. It's embarrassing. My spoons look like this. I don't know if you can see the edge of it. It got a little too hot at some point and I melted it. So my next purchase for Tupperware, they've got the utensil container for the counter, and it's got like 5 of the most used utensils. Your spatula and a tong, slotted spoon, slotted spatula, and then oh my gosh, a ladle. Definitely gonna invest in that because it is so time for an upgrade. I am really impressed at the quality of this thing. This is one of their scrapers now, and we're talking heavy duty. I was using this to flip pancakes, and I use it as a stirrer. There is no bend in this thing when you're stirring up a big pot of something. It's terrific. So we're just cooking this flour and cream until it's thickened, and then we're going to turn it into a cheese sauce. You do want to keep whisking it though, because it'll kind of burn and get settled in on the bottom. All right, so while that's cooking, I'm going to switch this over. We're going to rinse it a little bit, and I'm just going to chop up my chicken. Sorry, I'm by the sink again. You guys can't see me. So if I disappear, you know I'm probably in the sink. I hope you guys can hear me okay. All right, so we're gonna chop up our chicken a little bit. And all I'm gonna do is cut my tenderloins in half. If you're using breast, I would probably cut them into 3 pieces. We're just gonna put them in the chopper and chop them up. Because I just don't feel like, you guys don't want to watch me cut the chicken forever and ever. So this thing really makes great chicken salad too. Chicken salad, potato salad, you can put everything in here and use it to mix everything up. It's got a mixing attachment as well. Right, there we go. Where is my mixing attachment? Aha! I put it back in there. So it's got a little beater attachment too if you need that. All right, so we got the lid on, and I'm really just going to give this a couple of pulls because it's kind of chunky to start with. It's not going to chunk up as easily. It's not going to pull as easy. And I don't want like finely chopped chicken either. I just want chicken chunks. We want chunky chicken in our pasta. All right, remind me to quit talking and pay attention to my sauce. So how do you know when this is thick enough? pasta sauces in particular, and white sauce in particular, they're going to coat the spoon. And you know it's done when you can draw a line through it. So this is getting nice and thick. We're going to add our cheeses next. So we've got our Parmesan. I keep getting how much mixed up. Aha, 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan. Now you can use the Kraft, that's perfectly fine. I got this from Market Basket. It was just their freshly grated Parmesan. That's just my personal preference. You can get the Parmesan shreds, whatever works. I've got shredded mozzarella here. That is 3/4 of a cup. We're going to stir that in as well. And you're going to get that, let that get nice and thick. Oh, I don't know if you can't really see the cheesy goodness. Nah, it's not going to work. It's very cheesy. And I think I dropped some sauce on the floor at some point. Now you salt and pepper to taste. For me, this took about a teaspoon of salt on top of the cheeses. Now some cheeses are going to be crazy salty. If you're using the bagged shredded stuff, now Tupperware makes some great, awesome graters and shredders. So if you find that you'd rather have fresh grated cheese, I think it works better. And for some people, if you've been wondering if you're lactose intolerant, because when you eat packaged cheese, it bothers your stomach, but you're okay with other milk products and other cheese products, it might actually be gluten problems or even a corn sensitivity. Because when they package that, they put cellulose and some other things to keep it from clumping inside the package. Oh yeah, so we are nice and cheesy. I don't know if you can see that line. So we're going to add a little salt, little pepper. Actually, we still have some pieces. I think I have a little bit more melting to do. All right, so while that's melting, and then we'll add some salt and pepper. Now, I'm going to use black pepper. I know that's a big no-no in a white sauce. If you want to use white pepper, feel free. I don't have any. So I'm just going to use good old black pepper. I like freshly ground black pepper, so I'm going to grind about a half a teaspoon in. We'll put about a half a teaspoon. Did I say half a teaspoon? Half a teaspoon of salt. All right. Yeah, that pasta's looking much better. All right, so remember, we're just trying to get to the before al dente stage. We're going to add our broccoli in. This is a one pot kind of, well, I don't want to say one pot wonder because it's not really. But that's going to cook together. So I'm not trying to cook all kinds of stuff separately. So we're going to do another 5 minutes now that the broccoli's in there. And by the time we're done with that, we'll have cheese sauce. And we'll be ready to put it together and get it in the oven or the freezer, depending on your preference. Shred it. I'm just trying to chunk it up. Oh yeah, chunky chicken. Yum. I haven't had dinner yet. That's a problem when you're cooking and trying to do all that. All right, so we got a nice cheese sauce. So I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And then I'm going to turn the heat off just so I don't scald the bottom of this. And I'm just going to move some stuff into my dishwasher. Like I said, pro tip, you keep the dishwasher empty so you can just fill it and go when you're meal prepping. Last thing you want to see me do is clean up the kitchen, right? But I just realized I have to dump my pasta water somewhere and I've already filled up the sink twice. Doing all this cooking, I'm gonna have a ton of leftovers. You guys might have me knocking on your door with the leftovers at some point. Just whisking my cheese sauce. I'm gonna chat about eco bottles for another couple minutes. So Tupperware has some great reusable water bottles. I love these things. I don't know if you guys are like me and you have a bunch of like little water bottles that you've drank out of and you keep refilling them, it can get to be a little much. And actually it's kind of dangerous. They found that if you leave them out in the sun or they get too warm, it can leach chemicals into the water. So these are BPA free, totally safe. They've got a great lid on them and a very drinkable lid.
Smells good down here.
Oh, my daughter Cammie's coming in. This is Cammie, everybody. And you can refill it. It's so easy to get water in there. We also have the coffee mugs. My coffee mug. What are you doing to my phone, girl?
Declining it.
Oh, that's all right. Sorry, incoming call. They're gonna have to wait. I'm busy, I'm cooking, I'm having fun here.
What are you making? Chicken Alfredo?
Yeah, the chicken broccoli Alfredo. You hungry?
Yeah.
Really? You just had dinner. So the Eco Smart cup, the coffee mug. The coffee mug I was using, my travel mug, actually was pretty gross. I would take a drink and the coffee would kind of slide down the bottom. The cup holders in my car were disgusting. So I cleaned them out and I switched over to this guy. It's amazing. It's got the little holder here so it stays fairly cool. You know, you can have your hot coffee, but you can hang on to it and it's fairly cool. It's just got the silicone top to drink out of and it doesn't leak. I mean, if you tipped it over, of course it would because of the vent, but when I'm drinking, I don't have to worry about it coming out my bottom lip or anything like that. Love, love, love my coffee mug.
Why is it the seconds behind it?
It always is.
Why?
Yeah, just delays.
Is it on everybody's screen like that?
So everybody can see that. I'm the only one who can see the one on my phone.
Oh. It smells so good.
Well, guess what you're having for dinner tomorrow?
Tonight? Yeah.
You just had dinner, silly.
I don't care. I'm hungry.
Well, you can have some leftovers when I'm done. I do have one in the oven right now that I had made before, so I will be able to show you a finished product. Now, when we're all set, when I get everything together, all right, kiddo, you got to get out of the way. Thanks, appreciate that. I'm gonna put it in a bread pan, just because it's just my daughter and I. So,
I can't turn the light.
all right, you need to go back upstairs, please.
I'm turning this light on.
Yeah, thanks. So you can use a single 6x8 pan if that's what you want to do. You can use 2 cake pans, like the little 8x8s, or I'm going to do 3 of these. And when you freeze them, it'll take about an hour. So you can thaw it in the fridge. If you thaw it, it will be about 30 minutes in the oven. If you don't thaw it, then it'll be about an hour. I love the whole freezer to oven idea. All right, how are we looking? All right, our pasta's getting slightly fluffy. That's how I think of it when it's kind of al dente. We're gonna drain this off. And our broccoli's mostly cooked. So we're gonna drain that off in my very ancient colander. You certainly could add the sauce right in here. That would be fine, but I'm gonna be using this for the meatballs in a little while, so I really didn't want to put all the Alfredo sauce in there. Moving stuff around a little bit. I think I need 4 or 5 more counters when I'm doing this. So I'm gonna put our drained pasta and broccoli into our that's a bowl. And this is the reason I love it. I'm about to stir it and then pour it into my cake pans. We're gonna add our chunky chicken. And then we're gonna add that amazing pasta sauce. I'm just gonna taste it real quick and make sure I hope I didn't over salt it. I don't think I did. Oh, that's perfect. Yum. Honestly, you could put that on a flip-flop and it would taste good. All right, so kind of want you guys to be able to see this, so I'll make sure I'm at a good angle. And I'm just gonna pour that sauce right in. Gonna use my lovely, lovely scraper. I don't starve my kid, I promise. She did have dinner before I came on live.
But I'm still hungry.
You're always hungry, kiddo.
I know.
All right, and then I'm just gonna stir this up. So that's a bowl. Absolutely amazing. I'm hanging onto it while I'm stirring, and I'm having no trouble at all with this. And you're just gonna get this nice and even. The other thing I love about Tupperware parties, I get to cook my dinner and I'm working from home. I wish I could, someday I'll do this for a living because it's amazing. Alrighty, so we've got, again, this would fit in a good 6 by 9 inch pan, or 2 cake pans, or like I'm doing here, the 3 bread pans. Like it's just the 2 of us, so 3 bread pans are gonna give us about 3 servings. So we have enough for a dinner for the 2 of us, and then 1 more extra so I can have something to take for lunch the next day. And this plus a green salad, maybe a garlic bread of some sort, and you're gonna have a great meal. For meal prep, sometimes it's hard to remember to get your salad stuff, especially if you prep several days in advance. So I found that you can go to, you know, like Wendy's or Burger King or McDonald's and get just a side salad. I haven't gone in a while, so I think they still have those, where it's just your regular garden salad, and then you can add your dressing and whatever you've got on hand at home. All right, so these are somewhat even. And then so it was a ½ cup of mozzarella cheese into the sauce, and then we melted it. Another 1.5 cups is gonna go on the outside. So really it's about ½ cup for each. And you're just gonna sprinkle that on the top. And then at this point, you're gonna let these cool. You have a couple of different choices. You can certainly bake them if you're ready to do that, if you're ready to go ahead and eat. Or you put them in the freezer just like this. You put foil on the top and then wrap them in saran wrap, and that's going to keep them from getting freezer burned. If you are lucky enough to have a Tupperware product that you can bake, they have their bakeware that is freezer to oven to table. Absolutely make it in that, and you're going to be 20 steps ahead of the world at that point. All right, so we have got these all cheesed up, and I'm just going to let them cool. And after this, I'm going to wrap them up and we're going to stick them in the freezer. All right, so we're going to get those out of the way. And then I'm going to show you what they look like once you've baked them. So, judgment-free zone, I don't know how clean my oven is. I apologize. This is a very lived-in kitchen, if you haven't noticed that already. I've also got some comments on the Christmas tree in the background. You probably can't see it because it's dark out now, but that little sunflower is on a little tiny Christmas tree. I took the Christmas tree down. We have one tree that we leave up. We decorate it for Cammie's birthday in January, and then we decorate it with different decorations. So right now it's a spring tree. It usually goes to bed in the summertime, and then I pull it back out in the fall. All right, so this is the one that I had baking. Oh, I overbaked it just a little bit, but I don't know if you can see all that cheesy goodness. That is going to be so good. So we have dinner done for the next couple of nights. Now these will stay 3 to 6 months in the freezer. After that, they start to get kind of freezer burned. So I do say use them within 3 months if you can, 6 months at a maximum. All right, shut my oven off. And we are going to move on. It's meatball time. All right. I got to change all my stuff. Oh, my egg's trying to get away. I don't know where he's going, but he's trying to get away. All right, so we've got our Wonderlear bowl with our chopped up onion. Remember, we chopped that up before we did the broccoli. Ooh, I'm keeping you guys on here for a while. We won't be here much longer, I promise. Just gonna rinse out my pressure cooker. And I'm back at the sink, so you lost sight of me, sorry. Gotta love it. All right, so this is the Tupperware pressure cooker. I love this thing. If you've got an Instapot or you've got a pressure cooker already of your own, it's that kind of idea, but in the microwave. So it's completely portable. Again, you don't have to worry about finding counter space for it. You don't have to find a plug for it. You're using equipment that you've already got. It's got a lid on the top. This is not a handle, it's a seal. So you've got 3 safety guards on here. This is not for the stovetop. This is for the microwave only. You've got your seal here. That seals down when you shut the lid. You've got a seal here. I don't know if you can see that little guy. I call him a minion. He looks like a little minion head. You see him moving up and down? When we come up to pressure in the microwave, he's going to be all the way up. You're going to do a natural pressure release, which means you're going to take this out and put it on the counter and let it cool, and that's going to come down. When it's all the way down, it's safe to open. You want to take a spoon or something or the back of a fork and just make sure before you open it that there's no more steam and you're not going to steam yourself. When you do open it, you always want to open it away from your face. You do not want a steamed food facial. I know steamed facials can be a thing, but not from a Tupperware product. You don't want to injure yourself. And then there's also another safety valve right here. This one just opens when it's cooking, and as it cools down, it closes on its own. That's what keeps the pressure at the pressure it should be. This is removable, so you can clean it. It's silicone, so it's one of those things that you can replace, but silicone tends to hold odors, so you are going to want to clean that. Again, with the IKEA reference, there's a max and a minimum. Hey, Patty, welcome. There's a maximum and a minimum on here, so you need to make sure you fill it to at least the minimum, which is a couple of cups, and not go over the maximum. Otherwise, you're either not going to get to pressure or it's not going to be the right pressure and the food's not going to cook properly. If you're going to put meat in here, it's great for chicken. I do a lot of shredded chicken, taco chicken. It's great for brisket. It's great for roasts and soups and stews. I'm using it for meatballs tonight. All right, meatballs. So this is my season serve. So you can use this to marinate meats. It's awesome in the summertime. You can put your steak or chicken or whatever in here, your pork, get your marinade in there, marinate it, and then you can just flip it over. And then marinate it a little bit longer. But I've used it for meatballs, so we'll show you what it looks like. It's also a great little container of any kind. You can put all kinds of stuff in here. I use it for cupcakes too. I know they have cupcake containers, but just because it's got like the domed lid, it does keep the cupcakes pretty good. All right. Now because it's frozen, it might be a little tough for me to get the lid on, so I apologize in advance. I don't want meatballs flying all over. Come on. What did I say about Tupperware lids coming off easy? This one, not so much when it's frozen, apparently. There it goes. So I don't know if you can see. I made that with this particular recipe a couple of days ago. So we're going to get these cooking. I'm going to make a meatball sub. So just going to put in, I'm not going to use all of these. It's just my daughter and I, so I'm only going to do about 10 meatballs in here tonight. So we're going to get those. They are raw. They're not cooked. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's about 3 sandwiches worth. And if you're going to cook the whole thing, you want about 3 cups of sauce. I'm going to use about 2 cups of sauce for this. You can use any pasta sauce you want. You can make your own pasta sauce. Anything you like is going to work. For the quick and easy version, I'm going to use Prego. We like the Italian sausage. I just like the flavor of it. Just going to pour that in. And I like to add just a little bit of Italian seasoning to mine. There's no sprinkle on my Italian seasoning. I just way overdid the seasoning. Pardon me while I pull some of that out, for heaven's sake. Oh, I like Italian seasoning, but not that much. My goodness, that's going to be fragrant. All right. And then we're going to put the lid on. So back to IKEA. We are going to match a little arrow with the arrow that's on the handle of this guy. You twist the lid and you close it, and it'll set in there when it's seated properly.
Is that a heater?
Yep. Right there. So you can see that this is all the way in and it's all the way down. And we're gonna put it in the microwave. Because my meatballs are frozen, we're gonna do about 20 minutes. If you're cooking them from raw, it'll take more like 15. I won't make you watch the whole thing, but basically that's how I'm gonna make the meatballs. We'll make the meatballs, talk about a few more things, and I promise I'll let you guys go. All right, freezer smarts. These are terrific too. You can stack them, and you've got different sizes. This is a medium. You've got the medium shallow. This is the medium deep. They come small, medium, and large. You can use them for a ton of stuff. I love them because they stack so beautifully in the freezer. I don't know if you're like me and everything was in a plastic baggie before, or foil pans, and this stacks much nicer. The foil pans actually do too. But I've got a pound of ground beef here. We're gonna add that to our onions. And then I'm gonna add, so it says 2 cloves of garlic. For this, it's about 2½ teaspoons, so a total of 1 teaspoon of the minced garlic. One egg beaten. Now you can certainly beat your egg and then put it in. Me personally, I'm very lazy, so I'm just gonna put that on the side and beat it with a fork. So I'm just beating it in the corner of my bowl over here. Now I'm using seasoned breadcrumbs. So I like the breadcrumbs that have the Italian seasoning and the cheese already in it. So if you're doing that, you only need about a ½ cup of the breadcrumb. I'm sorry, ½ cup of your Parmesan cheese. If you're using plain breadcrumbs, you're going to increase that Parmesan cheese to 3/4 of a cup. So this is going to be 3/4 of a cup of the seasoned breadcrumbs, and then a ½ cup of my Parmesan cheese. Ooh, that was like perfect. I actually had measured it out in here. You think I should have written it on the top. I was using the measuring cups earlier. And then we're going to do the ½ cup of Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to mix it with my hands. And then I'm going to wash my hands. The water running over there. And we're going to form it into little balls. The best way I find to get the right size and get, kind of uniform is to use a ice cream scoop. And what I did before was I put them right in the bottom of my seasoned serve. And froze them like that. And now I've got meatballs for days. Now the mixture's going to feel pretty dry, and you're not going to want to overdo it, but that's the texture that you're going to get, and that's how they're going to hold together when they freeze and then when you cook them. I'm going to ask you to stop that. Just washing my hands. I'm at the sink again. I disappeared. All right, so meatballs are cooking. We mixed up a new batch. And really the only other thing I wanted to chat with you guys about are the modular mates. It's the only thing I really hadn't touched on. So modular mates are those modules that you can use to take things out of your paper boxes and your bags, your spices, things like that. That would have helped if there's no top. I thought this had the sprinkle. It doesn't. There's no sprinkler in there. So I had just dumped the whole thing in. The Italian seasoning I could have had in the little spice container from Tupperware. They're part of the modular mate system. They've got a sprinkle side and then a scoop side. And they keep things airtight. This is not airtight. In another little while, it's probably going to not taste quite as fresh as it does when you first buy it. Once you take that seal out, the protection seal, it's going to be much nicer if I can keep things in those. So I definitely ordered a set of those. That modular mate are those clear containers with the black tops. They come in a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If it's something you're interested in, I tell people to measure their cupboard. Measure your shelving. Measure what you got. Know what your spaces are. The 1 is about 2 1/4 inches. The 2 are 4 1/2 inches. And I'm going to post a really good reference. So it's called Modular Mates by the numbers when we're done here tonight. The number 3 is 6 3/4 inches. The 4 is 9 inches. And the 5 and 11 is 11 1/4 inches. Don't worry, you don't have to remember any of that. All it does is it allows you to stack. So if you look at your cupboard, and you look at the modular mates that you're interested in, if you figure out you can put a 4 in here, then you can do a 4, or you can stack 2 2s, or you can do a 3 and a 1. You're not going to fit a 5 in there upright, but if you put the 5 on its side, that's going to be about a 4, and it's all going to stack in your pantry really, really nice. So they're 1 through 5. They come with an airtight seal. But if you can order for the oval ones, they come in 4 shapes as well. You've got oval, square, big oval, and rectangle. The oval ones actually have an airtight seal, but it's got a flip top on it so you can use it to pour. So it's very good for cereals and things like that. I personally need them for my sugar and my flour. I'm embarrassed to admit my flour is currently in a bag, and you don't want to keep anything in a bag. All right, I think that does it for me. That was all the things I wanted to tell you about today. Anybody have any questions? I think there's only about 2 of us left on here, so I appreciate you guys hanging. I know it was a long one. Just want to tell you a little bit about the Tupperware business. I am enjoying myself. This is so much fun, just doing something different. If you're interested in hosting a party, depending on how much gets sold at your party, automatically this month when you host a party, you're going to get a little mini salt and pepper shaker. They're about yay big. They're really cute. They're beautiful. Really pretty pink summery color. Then if your party gets to $200, you get a free either fridge mate or cups, serving cups. I'm blanking on the other one. There's 4 things you can choose from. Jackie, if you're still on, you actually are at that level already. If we get 2 bookings, you'll also qualify for the larger items. There's an Aloha set or the Clearly Elegant set. They're absolutely beautiful sets with 2 party bookings and $500 in sales. So that's kind of our next goal for you. You've already hit $300 in sales, so you get a half price item, plus you're going to get 10% of your party sales, so you're already at that $300 level. So way to go. If you want to book and help Jackie get her Aloha set or her Clearly Elegant, message me here or message me in the group. There'll be lots of information coming on hosting and what you can get. So please comment there and I will definitely get in touch with you. All right, if you're interested in being a Tupperware lady, there are a lot of ways you can do it. You can actually, for $15, join, and you can just have your little website. You can use it to purchase. You get all of the perks of a consultant, but we call you a personal shopper. You don't have to have parties. You don't have to do sales. After 3 months, you won't have the website, but you'll still have all the privileges and perks of a consultant. But you don't have to do any of that. You can do, if you do want to sell, you can party your way. I am really loving the Facebook option. I've gotten a great response. I've had a blast doing it. You can get the $15 version that gets you set up and going virtually, or you can get the $109 kit. That's what I joined with because it had a fridge mate, it had the chopper, it had bowls, it had everything I was looking for and was going to buy anyway. And when I got the kit, I was just so excited. Ended up launching, and now I'm standing in front of you talking. All right, any questions for me? I think that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm going to cook the meatballs and have meatball subs in a little bit. I'll probably feed the kid again, and then we're all going to bed because she's got school in the morning and I've got work. Anybody have any questions for me? All right, so I'm trying to watch in real time down here. So I'm going to let you guys go. Sorry, we're a little bit over. It's 8:04 instead of 8 o'clock, so I apologize for keeping you so long. Have a great night. Congratulations, Jackie, and thank you for partying with me. It has been a blast. Have a good night.